long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
You like me because I'm a scoundrel. There aren't enough scoundrels in your life.
I happen to like nice men.
Nice man.
Very nice.
So the proxy fight has gotten bigger, and I'll explain that in a little bit. The shareholders meeting, where every shareholder can vote, is on April 3rd. And there's another investment group, that's offering 3 names to replace people on the board. And it's Blackwell's, and the names are on this. So if you want to see what they are, they're on the slides I made. The 2 people that Nelson Peltz wants to see replaced, one is the president of the Council on Foreign Relations, which is basically an arm of the World Economic Forum. Peltz has not made any mention of being a Trump supporter. He's made several friendly statements about him. He's had to, tongue-in-cheek, apologize for it, but that's probably the bigger reason why this is such a thing for Iger and the rest. Beyond just, they don't see Peltz as anything but spokesman for Ike Perlmutter, who hates Bob Iger. And they don't want Ike Perlmutter anywhere near the Disney Board of Directors, which is understandable. But I think it's wrong. But then I think firing Perlmutter and keeping Feige was the wrong look. Perlmutter knows what sells to people, and it's not the Marvels. It's not Captain Marvel. It's not Brie Larson. It's not, Moon, what was that, Moon Guard or whatever, the Oscar Isaac TV show that was just so stupid, I couldn't be quantified. Now Disney's board says that neither Jay Versulo or Nelson Peltz has the experience to be on the board of a giant entertainment company and hospitality company, etc. If you look at the board, and especially the 2 people that are on Disney's board that Peltz wants to replace, they're not experienced in any of that either, okay? Blackwell's, they have people that have had actual connections with the media. I think one of the persons is a former head of the Tribeca Film Festival, and it's, the others, the names are as well. Again, if you are a Disney shareholder, you have the right to vote at this. And I suggest you vote for Peltz and Versulo. As much as I respect Bob Iger for survival instincts, he lacks leadership skills. He lacks the courage to say no to people clearly in a way that they don't defy him. And C, he's let way too much shit go down at the studios, that never should have happened. Now, according to the company, the current board believes Triangle Group, Blackwell's nominees don't have any of experience. Well, whatever. In a filing Tuesday, Trion identified the 2 Disney board members Peltz wants removed: Michael Froman, president of the Council of Foreign Relations, and Maria Elena Lago Massino, CEO of managing partner of investment advisory firm WE Family Offices. I don't know what that means exactly. And then we get into Blackwell's offerings, who they want to see on the board. My thing is, you need, I think, people who have a bigger stake in the Disney company than what this board has. That's, I think, that's the big problem that Peltz has pointed out. And without saying it out loud, he has called out Bob Iger on his lack of leadership skills. And it's kind of ridiculous when you come to think of it. But there's a lot more news coming up. But this is a big deal, and it means that there's a lot of crap going down behind the scenes at the Walt Disney Company that's going to affect everybody. But let's go on.
You lack conviction.
So sadly, Lucasfilm's efforts have been dealt a blow as 76-year-old Carl Weathers, aka Apollo Creed, aka Grief Karga, passed away unexpectedly on the 1st of February. And it's very strange. I had gotten in kind of a little tiff with him on X because he was white knighting a certain celebrity whom I think everybody's pretty much over. And I was basically like, I don't care what she says. I wouldn't vote for Joe Biden if my life depended on it. And, I said something back to him and then I didn't go on with it. But this is really sad and I feel bad because my respect for Carl Weathers is huge. He was a great actor and a great presence anywhere he found himself in a movie or Star Wars. And it really is going to affect the way I think the Mandalorian movie happens. But now's the time probably not to really talk about a recasting, even though because of who the character was, you could. And there are plenty of really good actors out there that could actually play the part. It's just, he was such a presence. We need to remember that. And let's go on to the other news. I'll do more about Carl later. So guess what? I woke up this morning and got an email from Trulia that said the house that Kathleen Kennedy and her husband, Frank Marshall, tried to sell is under contract pending, which means right now they've accepted an offer. Now they have to go through the inspections and everything and go through a lot of little negotiations. And once that gets straightened out, if it does, because this can fall apart, trust me, I've seen it happen. It's actually has happened to Rudy and I trying to sell a house in Florida. If it gets past this part and goes into pending, and then it'll go into closing, and then it'll be sold. Interesting to note, This is probably did not sell for as much as they wanted, even though the price did drop $4 million from what the first listing was, which is a sign that high value real estate in that part of California isn't selling well anymore because, look, we're in an economic recession no matter what. No matter what. Joe Biden, mumbles out of his, ice cream stained mouth. It is very interesting to note that they chose to sell that place now for the price that they first had it at. And it was last September, after everything that seemed to be going down at Lucasfilm was going down. The Five Horsemen were there. Kennedy wasn't allowed on campus. Her office apparently had been cleaned out. And, so then this happens. And when I actually contacted Matt Bellamy and sent him the Sacramento Bee article about it, the subtext of the response I got was, I can't remember what he said, but it was like, oh, now that's very interesting, something like that. I'll have to go look at it later. The subtext, though, to me was, no, who didn't see this coming? And that means they're talking about what's going down at Lucasfilm, that they're not the only people, or we're not the only people discussing this. If you have to remember, Lord Tornaga did tell me that a friend of his, who's a high powered executive at one of the other big studios, who knows people that work at Lucasfilm, we're saying that there's chaos there. And which leads me to this. So at the end of Kamran's article about Carl Weathers, he added that many of the troublemakers, grounded monkeys at Lucasfilm, are being shut out of future Lucasfilm projects, which is a hint that they would be probably advised to leave. This particular grounded monkey is doing a podcast tour for his latest visual dictionary that no one cares about or wants to read. Okay, he's cleared his recent X public account of any references to causing trouble with fans. His Blue Skies account is pretty benign. Now, I can't imagine who sent some of the stuff to Bob Iger and Jon Favreau, but it wasn't me, I swear, giggle snort. Now, here's the last story. Daisy Ridley recalls grieving after her last Star Wars film. Daisy, just shut up about your movie. You're not going to get a movie. And personally, I don't think you grieved half as hard as the fans who expected more. Okay? I mean, I'm so sick of hearing about her, seeing her face. I know, everybody has different feelings about her, but I personally couldn't be in the same room with her because she's a smug, little, British, entitled brat, in my opinion. And I really don't think she's that good of an actress. If she's using this whole thing to put the secret handshake out to John and Dave that if they want her to come back, she will. I don't know. So they can close the chapter on her stupid character, and maybe that will bring closure for her. Not that she matters. Fine, I don't care. I'm not gonna care about that unless I see her actually saying, "This is not my timeline," and then shuts it all down. That'd be great. It just, what her talking about this does is it causes trouble for John and Dave to get moving on the Mandalorian project. And now that they've got the complication of Carl Weathers passing away, they don't need this shit, okay? But this is all the news from the last couple of days. I could have broken it down into 3 videos, but I didn't. The latest on the Proxy War will be in the description. The articles will be in the description. Obit for Carl Weathers, and there you go. All right. So, it looks like things are moving, in my opinion. And I kind of had a feeling that we would see that house go under contract soon. I just had a gut feeling, so I'm happy about that. So you guys have a good Saturday, and I'll see you around the galaxy.